area bound by shaded portion of the curve is most nearly. So you have this y-axis and x-axis, and there is a line going here, y is equal to 5x, and there is a curve going which is y is equal to 8x squared. This is only given. They have not provided any other information. Now they are asking you what is the shaded part between these two. So a straight line is nothing but a curve. A curve is nothing but a series of straight lines. So whenever you are given two equations like this, the first thing that we try to do is we need to understand the points of intersection. So y is equal to 5x, if you substitute this in here, then you'll be able to get one of the points. Now using these two equations, once you find the common points of intersection, what you need to understand is the areas. Okay, before we start going into depth of this problem, first understand what is each area. Let me take this and break it down into pieces so it will be easy to understand. So here there is two different colors, right? One is red, one is dark. Okay, so what you need to understand is this dark one is all A1. Okay, and what is A1? A1 is the area under the straight line y is equal to 5x. And what is A2? A2 is nothing but area under the curve y is equal to 8x square. So how did we get this? How are we doing this? So whenever they say area under a curve, what you need to understand is that if you integrate the equation using the limits that you found by using the commonality between these two equations, so that 2 points which you get as commonality using by simplifying these equations, those 2 points, those will be your limits. Those limits, once you integrate them over any equation, whatever is the area under that particular equation, that will be the area under that particular curve. For example, y is equal to 5x, I integrated y is equal to 5x with limits 0 to whatever this n, imaginary n. If I integrate on both the sides with those limits 0 to n on both the sides, then I will get this particular shaded part that you see over here. I will even delete this red line if it's possible. No, it's not letting me do that. This entire triangle that you see here is basically area that is under the line y is equal to 5x. So I hope you all understood the point. Once you integrate any equation, that will give you the area that is under it. Similarly, if I integrate this y is equal to 8x square, that's going to give me this particular area A2. So this is y-axis, that is x-axis. This is origin and this is the limit. Let's call it L. So this is nothing but your curve y is equal to 8x square. So the area under this is all the area under that. Okay, that's actually better. So now if you want to find any area under the curve, simply you have to integrate on both the sides. Now using this particular theory of integrate on both the sides, you are able to calculate this triangle and you are able to calculate this space that is hollow. Okay, now if you watch carefully, the shaded part that is being asked in the question is nothing but the hollowed part. Okay, so if you calculate A1 and A2 and then you subtract A2 from A1, what will you get? The shaded part, AS. Let's call that AS. So that is the concept of area of the shaded portion of the curve. Very, very simple concept. So now let's get into the details. So this particular equation, I know many of you are having question about how to solve this on calculator. It is very important to master it before you get to the exam, which is why now even though it might take a second for us to solve, let's actually use the calculator today. Okay, the problem is your computer calculators are more complicated than the calculators you actually use physically, so it might take a second. Here we go. So we have all these options. Whenever you get an equation, the first thing that should come into your mind is the option called num solve. I can't zoom in more than this. I hope you all can see that. Num solve. So all you got to do is click second and then this, because if you don't click second, then by default sign will come, not num solve. For numsolve to come, which is highlighted in blue, you got to click second and then this. Now the previous equation that I used is starting to pop up here. Since I'm already here, let me just explain. Some of you were asking me why are we not able to get the answer for this particular question. So what you got to do is, anytime there is a multiplication, you got to put a parenthesis. Start using lot of parentheses, as many parentheses as possible. Put here, here, wherever you can. The more parentheses you put and more clarity you give to your calculator, the less it will mess up. That is my theory about how to make this happen. All of this is under record. If any one of you have doubt, come back to this part later and again review this part. So this is that equation from question 137. If you simply go down here, now you're done entering your equation, right? Simply click enter. Now whatever information it gives, don't bother, just keep clicking enter again and again. It will come to this particular thing. Now here just click down and just click on solve. So it already solved actually. I'm just doing it one more time. So after you solve it, it gave me for question 137, it gave me 1.51. That is just a sample. So there is no error or nothing. As long as you know how to input your data to your calculator, it will give you the right answer. There is no way around it. Okay. So simply put as many parentheses as possible and give your calculator the clarity of what you want. Only if it is confused, it will give you error. So on that note, let's come to this question. For you to clear this...
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm getting 16.4 for that.
Yes, there is two limits. One is 16.4, one is 1.51. You are getting the second one. There is also a second one. You have got to watch carefully.
I'll send you a picture. I only see one. But
We'll work on that later.
Yes, yes.
So you got to carefully remove on both the sides, otherwise you will mess it up again. It's got to be clear like this. So once it is clear, now be careful because this particular equation has y and x both, which is a little bit more complicated than normal. So the correct equation that we are trying to solve is y is equal to 5x is equal to 8x square. So using this is actually two equations. One is y is equal to 5x, one is y is equal to 8x square. So the correct way to put it, I think we're trying to find the x values, which are the limits. So understand, don't confuse between y and x. Y is the main equation, x is the main variable that is contributing to the curve and the straight line. So we are going from origin towards the x-axis. So x is the variable, main variable. Y is dependent on x. That's how you have to understand this thing. So on that note, the main equation will end up becoming 5x is equal to 8x square. I will teach you all the ways if you want to put multiple variables also, but this is the main one. 5 times, as I was telling you, use parentheses as much as possible, and x it said, right? So if you click one time, 1x will come. If you click 2 times, same place without changing, next variable will come. 3 times, next variable will come. That's how your variables will keep on changing. So on that note, what we want here is x, right? So there you go, x. Sometimes the question might have a different variable and you might be doing a different variable. Don't worry about it. Make sure you understand what you're trying to solve. Your variable exactly doesn't have to match what is here. They can call p, q, phi, whatever. You can put x and do the same thing. So 5x is equal to 8 times x square. Now x square is more comfortable. You can either click here or you can click x to the power 2. You can do it multiple ways. The easiest way is this one. That's why they gave the easy option. Oh, that didn't work. No problem. That is directly going to the square root. So let's first put the x value first. Now this I can click and again I can click that. That will give the square. So once I do that, then I have to click enter. Now don't worry about this. This is from the previous data. Somebody is popping up. We'll see in a second. Be careful. Click solve. There you go. So you got your limit, that is 0.6249. Now I am, again I was telling you, laptop itself is using this in laptop is a little bit new to me, but it's much more convenient to solve this in your in your handy laptop, the physical calculator. So this is how you got 0.624. It's already obvious if you look at this one, 5x is equal to 8x square, x cancel, then x is equal to 5 by 8. There is one limit, and that 5 by 8 is nothing but this 0.62, that one. Now second one, if I make x is equal to 0, again that also applies on both the sides. Both the sides LHS, RHS will become 0. So the two limits are 0, 0.625. Those are the two limits. Now you can use for example, the other way you can understand these limits is if you have more if you are actually a little bit more handsy, then you can bring this, you can write this equation as 8x square minus 5x is equal to 0. Okay, now this can be rewritten as x into 8x minus 5 is equal to 0. So simply put, x, this is now rewritten as x is equal to 0 and 8x minus 5 is equal to 0. There is many different ways of solving the same thing. Now it all depends on which one you are more comfortable doing. Okay, I personally try to be comfortable with everything, because you never know in exam which one will come handy and which one will help you to solve it the fastest. Okay, so definitely I recommend mastering the calculator, even if some of you can do it physically, because otherwise you will never get comfortable using the calculator. So now that you understood how to solve the limits, these are the two limits we have. One is the L1, one is the L2. Now that you understood that, let's calculate the areas. The first area is going to be A1. A1 is going to be integral of y is equal to integral of 5x dot dy with the limits. So that will look something like this. Integral of y is equal to integral 5x dy, 0 to 0.625. Once you solve this, this is the answer we got. Understand, for here also we are going to use our good old calculator. Use it, keep using it as many times as you can. In the physical one, you can simply click one button and all of it will just disappear. Here you have to click everything, even then there is no guarantee. There we go. Okay, again I have to start from all over. Actually, no, maybe I don't have to. Let's see. Can't see properly. There we have integral. So second, with integral, both the limits 0, and on the top you can either write 5 by 8 or 0.625, 0.625 times what we want, 5x, 5. Understand, if you put 5x here, outside it is waiting as dx. For the sake of the clarity, we have to exchange x and y in the equation here. As I was telling you, don't look at stringently, this is a variable I'm going to use. That doesn't work that way. So don't put x there. Oh, don't put x there. Instead put y. Or if you're not comfortable with putting y, put p, t, whatever you want. Here x is equal to your y, t is equal to your actual x. Have that clarity. Now once you do this, click enter. Oh, okay. That is a mistake I did. This became a constant. And then you're doing the whole thing for integral of 1. Makes sense. That is why we have to keep on working on the calculator. So you have to be comfortable to communicate with it. Second, with integral starting with 0, click on the top, 0.625, come over here, and there we are going to put our 5 times x. Actually you have to put x, 5x, integral 5x dx. So technically supposed to be y dx, which becomes 5x dx basically. So it is showing right only. You don't have to put no other third variable. This is fine. Now let's click. Oh, look at that. This thing doesn't even go back also. Man, I never faced this issue. TI-36. What is it?
0.97.
0.97? Yes, that's your answer. But now doing this thing on the physical thing is way more easier than the laptop one. So keep using the physical one as much as possible. So same thing we want to do for this also, A2. So here, same again, come over here, click second, click your integral, put the same limits, except the equation is going to change 0 to 0.625, and then the equation is going to be 8 times x square dx. Let's hope one more parenthesis I got to put. This is the thing with parenthesis. It has to be always an even number of parentheses in your problem. It can't be odd number. That will also give an error. It is supposed to understand, but it won't understand. See, now this time answer came. See, parenthesis is the solution for your calculator. If you don't understand why your calculator is showing errors, you have to put n number of parentheses. That will give you your answers. So this second one came as 0.6510. That's your second one. So final answer, the area of the shaded part is equal to 0.976 minus 0.651, that is equal to 0.325. So since we came till here, that will be a good ending for this problem. Something that is close. Maybe I didn't write some number accurately, but doesn't matter. Answer is very relative. So that is how you got your 0.325 for this particular problem.